What's going on, guys? It's your boy Parag. It is day 32 of the hard challenge. Your boy is up and ready. Woke up today at like 6, went for a walk, something like for me, you know what I'm saying? Just got back. Had to fill up the water bottle because after this it is back day. If you want to skip to the workout, just hit up there, you know what I'm saying? So far, feeling pretty good. I'm kind of tired. I slept at like, I think I went to bed at like 11:40. And then I woke up at 6. The plan was to sleep before 10, but I fumbled. But anyways, we always read a question of the day, you know what I'm saying? Question is, what goals do you want to accomplish by the end of this year? Okay, there's actually a few. If you guys don't know, I currently work at a insurance call center, as y'all can see over there with this little headset thing. And don't get me wrong, insurance is definitely interesting with like the job market right now. And like basically, I'm basically like this job. I'm basically being like a verbal punching bag. You know what I'm saying? So obviously not the greatest kind of job. However, I do have an interview today, a phone call interview with Enterprise. If you guys don't know what Enterprise is, it's like a rental company. They asked me to go do an interview to be an auto detailer, which is not too bad. The pay is like $1 less than this one or so, like around that. So I mean, yeah, I get $1 less. However, with this job, it's guaranteed 40 hours. There is overtime. And overall, I'm interested in auto detailing. If y'all don't know, I actually detail cars myself. Not too professionally because I don't got the money to afford the equipment, but I be detailing my car, my friend's cars, my mom's car, and the whole entire goal is that I can like hone my skills at that workplace, and then at home I can make my own business, and then I can be a mobile detailer. That is the, because I already have like a vacuum, blah blah blah, but there's that. So hopefully, one of the goals is that hopefully I can leave this job. Because honestly, guys, working at a call center, I'll make there's a whole different video that I can make on that job, but for now, nah. But yeah, so one goal is to officially leave this job and work as an auto detailer. However, my second goal would be obviously detailer. It's not a lot of career advancements. However, I definitely can grow experience and like go to like other fields where it could be like paint prepper, blah blah blah. But my next goal would probably be to be more established when it comes to content. Right now I'm kind of just like blurting out content, not really editing, not really putting time and effort to make videos. However, once I come back from Japan and I have more time, and like, because like right now, if y'all don't know, the reason why I'm doing this hard challenge is to really prove to myself that I can be consistent for X amount of days. And if I can be consistent when I come back from Japan, I'll be more consistent. Just that I won't be posting daily, because posting daily, yeah, it's a good thing, but like I feel like for me, balancing work, job, job, friends, family, working out, it's hard to fit in, and then also trying to fit in 8 hours of sleep, so it's a lot. But yeah, a second goal of mine would be definitely to be more established in making content. There's a lot of goals that I want to attain. Maybe end of this year, I want to lose all this belly fat. I got a lot of fat here. It's a little not too good. I want to lose that. I want to be more charismatic. I want to be more comfortable talking to people like I talked in my videos. And then, yeah, I think that's for the most part. Hey, comment down below your goals. All right, on to the reading. Yesterday we were going into some spicy topic. We left off where basically bro was sitting on a couch, and then next in front of him was another couch, and there's 3 girls that are all like making out, and like one of the girls felt left out, so then she went over to the guy's couch and they started getting all touchy, and then the guy's like, I grabbed her and let's just read off where I left off. You know what I'm saying? After 10 minutes of doing this, I grabbed her by the hand and led her to the hallway leading to the bathrooms. First of all, I don't know why we're even talking about this, but I mean, it's in the book. I can't complain. The hallway led past the 2 bathrooms and turned a corner where there were 2 locked doors for staff of storage. Then downstairs to a fire exit. I explored the area before and knew it was there. Yeah, he a freak, bro. He already knew the area. Okay, anyways, I led her around the corner down the stairs. She clearly knew what I had in mind. Why else would I have been leading her to an extremely private part of the club? Once there, we started making out some more, and I was running my hands all over her. Bro, this is like a Wattpad. What's going on? Bro, have you guys seen Wattpads before? Bro, I feel like that'd be a fire content idea where I'm just reading like the most craziest Wattpad. Bro, you would be surprised how these normal people, normal looking people, I'm not saying just because you look normal that you are, but you would be surprised how much of these normal people that you see day to day have like the most weirdest like kinks, or like they're just freaks. And honestly, me too. Like anyways, okay, so I was running my hands all over her, but wasn't going under her clothes just yet. She started to working out at my belt, but wasn't having a hard time because it was a typical style. I started to help her and she knelt down. Once we had my pants open, she began to give me why are we actually getting into this detail? I'm so confused. What's going on? It's getting kind of hot in here, no? She gave me a BJ. If y'all don't know, if you guys are young and don't know what a BJ is, bro, don't even worry about it, bro. You're too young. Anyways, she was good, and I couldn't let her continue for too long, or else the little rendezvous would have been far shorter than I would have liked. I grabbed her by her arms and pulled her back into a kiss, and then started working at her pants. I got her pants and panties completely off, and she slung her leg over my shoulder so I could eat her. Bro, this is mad freaky. Guys, what time is it? Bro, it's 7:12 in the morning. Anyways, she was partially shaven. Bro, we did not need to know that. I know like this video is mad long, but like holy shit, bro. And allowed me to get really enthusiastic while doing this. She bro, can I even read this? Okay, she arrived. I'm a PG it for y'all. She arrived a few times while I was munching her before she pulled me back up for more kissing. After that, she instructed me to lose my pants, okay, and lay on the concrete. God damn, freakazoid. This is in college? Shit. She then straddled me and sat on top of me, riding me cowgirl style. This was the only time in my life I didn't use a condom when not in a monogamous committed relationship. But being on ecstasy, oh yeah, I forgot that, yeah, they took drugs earlier, that's why, oh my god. And having this beauty sitting on top of me and riding me bareback was one of the most peak sexual experiences of my life. She didn't get too vigorous. Mostly she just rocked her hips while on top of me or slightly thrusting on my part while she quickly effed me from the top. We did this for probably close to an hour. An hour? Bruh, pack it up. When my friend Abby came up to the top of the stairs and called down to us, she couldn't see us properly, but she could tell what we were doing. The other girl Abby had been making out with had to go home, and so she was by herself. She kept calling to us. Normally this would probably be very weird, but maybe because of ecstasy, it felt completely natural. Abby asked if she could come down and said yes before her friend could respond, but the girl just smiled, so I figured out she was fine with it. Abby came downstairs and just leaned against the wall, watching with her hand in her pants. Yo, this can't be real, bro. This can't be real. After a bit, Abby started watching and started to lean her head back with her eyes closed. She said she loved hearing us go crazy. I can't talk. We were being pretty quiet, but that was what turned her on. The soft little, bro, guys, what am I reading right now? All right, bro. This is getting too freaky for me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's too early in the morning for this. The slight sound of pounding flesh. Guys, I'm sorry. She kept talking to us. She admitted she had taken another hit of ecstasy and was rolling really hard. I just alternated between looking at girl on top of me and then Abby, and I don't know what caught my attention more. This girl right on top of me or Abby standing there with her hands in her pants. I told Abby she should take off her pants while she did her thing. She asked why. I said that it would be far more stimulating seeing a P word while one was actually making use of my C word. At that, she locked her eyes on mine and gave me this terrible look. I thought she was pissed at me, and I could immediately tell that I was beginning to lose my erection over this. I decided to play it cool though and gave her my best seductive smile. She then gave me a slight smile, and then started taking off her pants off. At this, my erection was harder than it had been the whole night. She got her shoes and pants off and then just leaned back and put her hands in her panties. Of course, I couldn't see her P word with her panties on, but I decided to not press my luck. Bro, what am I reading right now, bro? Bro, am I hard? What's going on, bro? What the hell? Her friend was now watching her as earnestly as I was, while still grinding her hips on top of me. Her friend then said panties to Abby, and they looked at each other for a moment before Abby complied and took them off. Then, to shock and Abby walked over to the other side of the large landing. We were on a piece to lift her leg on and rest it while leaning back against the wall. Her upper back was against the wall, but her leg was at least a foot out from the wall. This gave us a great view of her, and she seemed to enjoy showing us. Instead of one hand, this time she used both. She spread the... Bro, I'm not reading this. Okay, I'm going to skip that line because that was way too in detail. After about 10 minutes of this, her friend asked her to come over, and she grabbed Abby's now wet hand and she sucked it and licked it clean. Abby had now started using her hand to rub her meat. I had grabbed Abby's ankle, directed her leg to each side of my head, and told her to sit down. I proceeded to eat Abby's while I could hear her friend kissing passionately. Amazing enough, they had decided to switch positions and sat on my face, and Abby put herself on my C word. After a long period of time, it got pretty frenzied, and the girl on my face. And then Abby and I came together while the girl on my face. Bro, this can't be real, bro. This has to be a dream, bro. What is... No. I can't. This can't be true. Can we go back to talk about politics? I just laid there while these two kissed each other softly. They eventually stood up and switched again. This time to clean me up. Abby kissed me, tasting her friend's juices, while her friend sucked on my receding, meat stick. Tasting my juices combined with Abby's. Once she had finished with my C where she pulled Abby, leaned her against the wall, and cleaned Abby up as well. Even inserting her tongue... We've been doing this for well over 2 hours. Still amazed that we didn't get caught. After a month later, Abby and I both went to get tested for STDs. Together, we were clean, so she didn't bother asking her friend to do as well. Abby and I dated for a while, and then even included her friend on a lovemaking on occasion. Our relationship didn't last long till summer break, and she moved away when she graduated and pursued her graduate degree. Philo work, disgusting work. What the... Alright, this long vintage contains many psychological interesting elements. First is the obvious sexual competence of each actors involved, as each seems to be fluent in grammar and social bonds based on the production of their own and others' sexual pleasure. We cannot distinguish passive and active actors, competent or incompetent, inhibited or liberated. As suggested in the previous chapter, sexual competence is a relatively recent form of social competence, formalized and codified by sexologists. By therapeutic advice, by soft and hard pornographic images, and by various sexual pleasures activities. Moreover, the type of interaction described above requires a complex orchestration of different bodies into a concentrated situation whose purpose is to satisfy and be satisfied by many partners at once. The vintage displays then a high degree of coordination and tactic understanding between actors who are more acquainted to one another. These are sorry. This occurs precisely because these participants have high degree of sexual competence. They act as if they are rehearsing a pornographic scene to all known parties. That is a scene in which all participants display sexual fluency and scriptiness. And from a sculptic minus scene where others perform a cultural scripted sexual fantasy and a pornographic cliche. The high scriptedness of the scene is a visual rather than a narrative normative. Its sexuality is public, unplanned, and spontaneous, and beyond conventional sexual binary classifications. The scene is also relatively egalitarian. It does not privilege one's gender pleasure. Each participant's orgasm is an implicit norm moving the interaction forward. The sexual fluidity of all patients derives less from a political ideology than from the fact that sexualized body searches for its pleasure in a way that transcends binary classification. I can't talk for shit. Any body, male or female, can be a source of an object or of pleasure because bodies are viewed in their materially as a functional sources of orgasmic pleasure beyond gender differences. The plurality of participants in this scene points to a diffusion of sexual pleasure in both meanings of the word diffusion express itself. Because inclusive rather than exclusive, it is not concentrated on a single person, and it also becomes a diffuse and genderless quality of an atmosphere. Rather than a privileged exchange between two people, furthermore, the scene is a public performance rather than a private encounter. And this, in many ways, is done in a public area. It is a performance executed for the eyes of a group that extends the traditional dyad, and it is later transformed in a story told on Quora, the site for the best answer to any question. Oh, it's on Quora. Bro, he could be like lying, bro. I'm not gonna lie, he went into too much detail for it to be a lie. I'm not gonna lie. In that sense, it resonates with the increasingly public character of sexuality through the internet. Finally, and this is important, the encounter is not the departure point of a story of a life story. It is told as a single episode, which repeats itself as a series of discrete episodes, but does not start a story, affair, or relationship. Casual sex obliterates narrative, literary, and inherent in traditional heterosexual relationships. It is lived as a punctual episode not intended to specific particular person or individual, but rather to a general attractive sex body in that sense. Casual sex is an abstract social form that is not geared at particularly. More than that, casual sex strips others of singularity and neutralizes what Luke Boltanski has the process of singularization, which according to him is an essential aspect of sociality. Sexual pleasure, sexual choice, and the accumulation of sexual experience through multiple partners fundamentally transform the formation of heterosexual encounters, altering the way in which stable emotions and cultural frames are being formed and maintained. Because traditional heteronormative sex was sex with a purpose, aka making love, child, etc., casual sex subverts the narrative tells of heteronormative. Instead, it aims at the last page accumulation of pleasure experiences, which in turn become a status signal, a sign of having body marked by others as attractive. For example, in her memoirs, Not That Kind of Girl, the celebrated author of Girls, Lena Durham, recounts her adolescence and entry into adulthood following a narrative of anxiety about her sexual competence. Her entry into adulthood is described as a long repeated attempt to overcome her virginity. For boys and girls, lose of virginity marks the possibility to enter and join the social class of sexually desirable people. In that sense, casual sex is a part of the emergence of new forms of social capital, in which sexual activity, and sexual competence form new marks of status and criteria of worth. To summarize, the hookup, the one-night stand, the sex party, the zipless F word are defined as relationships without expectations. in which each actor is legitimately involved in the pursuit of his or own self-interested pleasure, with no expectations of emotional mutuality, relationality, or projection in the future. Each encounter is supposed to provide pleasure, and the accumulation of such encounters in turn bestows status of their actors. It is thus surprising that for one sexual libertines, prostitution is paradigm for liberated and pleasurous sex. In the words of Margot St. James, founder of the sex workers organization Coyote, I've always thought that whores, whoa, strong word there, were the only incapacitated women. We are the only ones who have the absolute right to F as many men as men F women. In this view, liberated sexual gender equality are established as the capacity to F a higher number of sexual partners in the capacity to detach sexual activity from emotions, moral sentiments, and social norms. As a social performance, a casual sex encounter is successful if it does not generate any expectations. If no one, bro, why is this book telling me how to like hook up with people, bro? What's going on, bro? I don't understand. What the hell? Um, if no one projects oneself in the future, if it allows partners to experience unhindered physical pleasure and to be equal in their mutual detachment. Casual sex, thus defined, is akin to a service transaction based on performing well in a transient and anonymous way, on the desingularization of others and the lack of mutual commitment in that case. Casual sex has an abstract form much like money for Karl Marx and George Simmel. Money is abstract because it makes commodities and interchangeable in subsuming them under their exchange monetary value. In casual sex, people like commodities become equivalent and subside under orgasmic pleasure as a currency. In other words, casual sex subsumes people under the orgasmic value and makes them interchangeable and therefore abstract as a mere pleasure functions. Okay, that's the reading for today. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the hell I just read for today. Like, yeah, I feel like I don't know why. Maybe they're just doing it just to put in filters like in the story. Why the fuck did why are we talking about sex? I mean, yeah, it's a love book. I understand that, but bro, I'm not trying to be. I didn't need to know those details. That part that I didn't read y'all, bro was talking about how she used two fingers to like open her. I really didn't know that. Anyways, but same thing from yesterday. Yeah, I don't understand hookup culture. I really don't. It's like, yeah, I want to feel like physical love, and I just want to bang dudes or like bang like coming from a guy or girl. I want to bang dudes. I want to bang girls. It's like, bro, it's not all about banging people. You know what I'm saying? And like, honestly, sex is a very important thing. You know, like me personally, I'm not. Like, obviously, I'm not an angel. I've done some questionable things in the past, right? But now, you know, I'm good. I'm chill. I believe that when it comes to any kind of physical contact, it has to be with your partner. It just doesn't make sense if it's not, because at that point you're just doing lust shit. Like you just fall into the trap of lust. And don't get me wrong, you know, lust is good if it's with your partner. But obviously, you know, everyone has their own different opinions. I'm just saying mine. But hey, if you guys watch this reading section of me just blabbling and talking about some spicy topics, thank you guys for watching. On to the back workout. And no, wait, that was yesterday. Just the back today. Peace. Back day, your boy did some pull-ups or chin-ups, not too shabby dabby. Cranked out 4. Feeling good. Why am I arching my back for you guys? We're doing some dumbbell bent over rows. Felt pretty good. I feel like the form wasn't too perfect, so I need to lock in more about that. But that's the right side. Then we did the left side as well. It's crazy because my left side, bro, my body's full of asymmetrical. Like, it's not symmetrical. I'm gonna say. Doing some, you know, trap raises, not too shabby dabby. Going all over to the left hand as well. I don't know. Taking off the work because we gotta make sure that everything is fired, because the lower back is really important. And for me, I had lower back pain, but hey, that's the workout. Onto the picture. Boom! Yo, your boy's looking kind of sexy, you know? Looking like a meal, no? Yo, someone hit my line. No, I'm playing. Not too bad. I'm feeling good. And then for breakfast we had 3 eggs, roasted pumpkin seeds, and a cup of black coffee with water. Tasted absolutely disgusting, but I just drank it because I felt kind of tired at that time. And yes, I weighed the pumpkin seeds. Can you believe these macros? 280 calories. Okay, the 280 calories, that's kind of crazy. But 280 calories, you know, 50 grams, but 15 grams of protein, so not too bad. And the reason why, like, on this food scale it says like negative like 25 was because before, like without the seeds, it was negative 75. So, you know, quick maths. Anyways, that's the breakfast. Usually I didn't make the shake today because when I went downstairs, my dad was sleeping and I didn't want to wake him up by making the shake. But yeah, let's go on to the lunch. Okay, for lunch we had a small bowl of some tuna salad, like from yesterday. And then on the side, we had like a little piece of some salmon fish. So overall, pretty good, pretty healthy. And then for the smoothie, we had raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, water, and one scoop of protein powder. No peanut butter because that's too much for me. I'm not gonna lie. Midday as well. Overall, pretty good. I'm not gonna lie though. After I had this, I became pretty bloated. I don't know why, but I got pretty bloated. But hey, for dinner we had some quinoa salad, and then we had the same chicken stuff from yesterday, but the chicken stuff not only has chicken, but it has zucchini as well. So, you know, always gotta make sure I'm upping my fruits and vegetables because I'm not gonna lie, I don't really eat that much fruits and vegetables, so I'm trying to make sure I eat a lot. Anyways, that's the video for today. That's day 32 complete. Thanks for watching the video. Hey, I really appreciate y'all for watching everything. This series is literally gonna end next Wednesday, which is kind of crazy. But hey, I really appreciate y'all for watching this video. I hope you guys have a good day, good life, good weekend. Just overall, just live, laugh, love. You know what I'm saying? But I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 33. Peace.